James Edmund Caan is an American actor. After early roles in The Glory Guys, for which he received a Golden Globe nomination, El Dorado, and The Rain People, he came to prominence in the 1970s with significant roles in films such as Bryant's Song, Cinderella Liberty, The Gambler, Freebie and the Bean, Rollerball, Funny Lady, A Bridge Too Far and Chapter 2. For his signature role in The Godfather, that of hot-tempered Sonny Corleone, Caan was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor and the corresponding Golden Globe. Caan's subsequent notable performances include roles in Thief, Misery, For the Boys, Eraser, Bottle Rocket and Elf, as well as the role of Big Ed Delaney in the television series Las Vegas. He also prominently lent his voice to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. For his contributions to the film industry, Caan was inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1978 with a motion picture star located at 6648 Hollywood Boulevard. Early life Caan was born on March 26, 1940, in the Bronx, New York City, the son of Sophie and Arthur Caan, Jewish immigrants from Germany. His father was a meat dealer and butcher. One of 3 siblings, Caan grew up in Sunnyside, Queens. He was educated in New York City, and later attended Michigan State University. He was a member of the Alpha Epsilon fraternity during his tenure at Michigan State. He later transferred to Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York, but did not graduate. His classmates at Hofstra included Francis Ford Coppola and Lainie Kazan. While studying at Hofstra University, however, he became intrigued by acting and was interviewed for, accepted to, and graduated from, New York City's Neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater, where he studied for 5 years. One of his instructors was Sanford Meisner. "I just fell in love with acting," he later recalled. "Of course all my improvs ended in violence." Career 1961 to 1965. Early roles Caan began appearing off-Broadway in plays such as La Ronde before making his Broadway debut in Blood, Sweat and Stanley Pool. His career turnabout came in 1969, with Coppola's The Rain People. Caan calls himself the only New York Jewish cowboy. Caan's first television appearance was in an episode of Naked City. He was also seen in episodes of Play of the Week, Route 66, Alcoa Premiere, The Untouchables, The Doctors and the Nurses, Wide Country, Death Valley Days, Combat, as a clever German sergeant and Dr. Kildare. Caan's first film was Irma la Douce, in which he had an uncredited bit as a sailor. He guest starred on Ben Casey Combat, and Kraft Suspense Theater. His first substantial film role was as a punk hoodlum who gets his eyes poked out in the 1964 thriller Lady in a Cage, which starred Olivia de Havilland, who praised Caan's performance. Caan had roles in the Alfred Hitchcock Hour and Wagon Train. He was fourth billed in a Western feature, The Glory Guys. He said he turned down the starring role in a TV series around this time. "I want to be an actor, not a millionaire." 1965 to 1971. Leading man in 1965, Caan landed his first starring role, in Howard Hawks' auto racing drama Red Line 7000. It was not a financial success. However, Hawks liked Caan and cast him in his next film, El Dorado, playing Alan Bordillion Traherne, a.k.a. Mississippi, in support of John Wayne and Robert Mitchum. Caan then had the starring role in Robert Altman's second feature film, Countdown, and was second billed in the Curtis Harrington Thriller Games. Caan went to Britain to star in a war film, Submarine X-1, then had the lead in a western, Journey to Shiloh. He returned to television with a guest role in the FBI, then had an uncredited spot on the spy sitcom Get Smart as a favor to star Don Adams, playing Rupert of Rathskeller in the episode To Sire with Love. Caan won praise for his role as a brain-damaged football player in The Rain People, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He made a western called Gone with the West that was not released until 1975. None of these films, apart from El Dorado, had been particularly successful at the box office, including Rabbit, Run, based on a John Updike novel, in which Caan had the lead and, was a film I really wanted to do, really wanted to be involved with. "No one would put me in a movie," he later recalled. "They all said, his pictures never make money." Caan returned to the small screen with the TV movie Bryant's Song, playing dying football player Brian Piccolo, opposite Billy D. Williams. Caan did not want to return to television and turned down the role 4 times, but changed his mind after reading the script. The film was a huge critical success. Caan's performance earned him an Emmy nomination. He got a deal to make a film and agreed to be in T.R. Baskin. 1972 to 1982. Stardom the following year, Coppola cast him as the short-tempered Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. Originally, Caan was cast as Michael Corleone. Both Coppola and Caan demanded that this role be played by Al Pacino, so Caan could play Sonny instead. Robert De Niro was also considered to play Sonny. Although another actor, Carmen Caridi, was already signed to play Sonny, the studio insisted on having Caan, so he remained in the production. During production of The Godfather in 1971, Caan was known to hang out with Carmen Persico, a.k.a. The Snake, a notorious mafioso and later head of the Colombo crime family. Government agents briefly mistook Caan, who was relatively unknown at the time, as an aspiring mobster. Caan was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in the film, competing with co-stars Robert Duvall and Pacino. Caan was closely identified with the role for years afterward. "They called me a wise guy. I won Italian of the Year twice in New York, and I'm Jewish, not Italian. I was denied in a country club once. Oh yeah. The guy sat in front of the board, and he says, no, he's a wise guy, been downtown. He's a made guy. I thought, what? Are you out of your mind?" Caan was now established as a leading movie star. He was in a road movie, Slither, based on a script by W.D. Richter, and a romantic comedy with Marsha Mason, Cinderella Liberty, directed by Mark Riddle. He received good reviews for playing the title role in The Gambler, based on a script by James Chubak originally written for Robert De Niro, and directed by Carol Rice. More popular at the box office was the action comedy Freebie and the Bean with Alan Arkin. Caan reprised his role as Sonny Corleone for a flashback scene in The Godfather Part II. He had a big hit with Funny Lady playing Billy Rose opposite Barbra Streisand's Fanny Brice. Caan starred in 2 big action films, Norman Jewison's Rollerball, and Sam Peckinpah's The Killer Elite. Both were popular, though Caan hated Elite. He made a cameo in Mel Brooks's silent movie and tried comedy with Rydell's Harry and Walter Go to New York. Caan was so unhappy with the latter he sacked his management. He said he didn't want to make Elite or Harry, but people kept telling me I had to be commercial. Caan was one of many stars in the war film A Bridge Too Far. He had a change of pace when he went to France to make Another Man, another chance for director Claude Lelouch alongside Genevieve Bujold, which Caan did for Peanuts and loved the experience. Back in the United States, Caan made a modern-day western, Comes a Horseman, with Jane Fonda for director Alan J. Pakula. He was reunited with Mason in the film adaptation of Neil Simon's autobiographical Chapter 2. Caan later said he only did the film for the money as he was trying to raise money for his directorial debut, but it was a success at the box office. Turning director in 1978, Caan directed Hide in Plain Sight, a film about a father searching for his children, who were lost in the Witness Protection Program. Despite critical praise, the film was not a hit with the public. The following year, Caan appeared in the neo-noir film Thief, directed by Michael Mann, in which he played a professional safe-cracker. Although the film was not successful at the time, Caan's performance was widely lauded and the movie has acquired something of a cult following. Caan always praised Mann's script and direction and has often said that, next to The Godfather, Thief is the movie of which he is proudest. During Caan's peak years of stardom, he rejected a series of starring roles that proved to be successes for other actors, in films including M****ash, The French Connection, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Kramer vs. Kramer, Apocalypse Now, Blade Runner, Love Story and Superman. In 1977, Caan rated several of his movies out of 10, The Godfather, Freebie and the Bean, Cinderella Liberty, The Gambler, Funny Lady, Rollerball, The Killer Elite, Harry and Walter Go to New York, Slither, A Bridge Too Far, and Another Man Another Chance. He also liked his performances in The Rain People and Thief. Caan had a role in Lelouch's Les Uns et les Autres, which was popular in France. In Hollywood, he was in a flop comedy called Kiss Me Goodbye. 1982–1986. Temporary retirement from 1982 to 1987. Caan suffered from depression over his sister's death from leukemia, a growing problem with cocaine, and what he described as Hollywood burnout, and did not act in any films. In a 1991 interview, Caan claimed that making the 1982 film Kiss Me Goodbye was another factor in this self-imposed exile. Caan called it one of the worst experiences of his life and professed that director Robert Mulligan was the most incompetent filmmaker he had ever worked with. "A lot of mediocrity was produced," he said. "Because I think that directors got to the point where they made themselves too important. They didn't want anything or anybody to distract from their directorial prowess. There were actors who were good and capable, but they would distract from the special effects. It was a period of time when I said, I'm not going to work again." He walked off the set of The Hallcroft Covenant and was replaced by Michael Caine. Caan devoted much of his time during these years to coaching children's sports. In 1985 he was in a car crash. Caan considered retiring for good, but instead of being set for life, as he believed, he found out one day that I was flat-ass broke. I didn't want to work. But then when the dogs got hungry and I saw their ribs, I decided that maybe now it's a good idea. 1987–2007. Comeback. Caan returned to acting in 1987, when Coppola cast him as an Army platoon sergeant for the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment in Gardens of Stone, a movie that dealt with the effect of the Vietnam War on the United States homefront. Caan only received a quarter of his pre-hiatus salary, and then had to kick in tens of thousands more to the completion bond company because of Hallcroft. I don't know what it is, but, boy, when you're down, they like to stomp on you, he said. The movie was not a popular success, but Alien Nation, where Caan played a cop who partnered with an alien, did well. He had a support role as Spaldoni, under much makeup, in Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. He was going to make an action film in Italy, but then heard Rob Reiner was looking for a leading man in his adaptation of Stephen King's Misery. Since the script for Misery called for the male lead, Paul Sheldon, to spend most of his time lying in bed tormented by his nurse, The role was turned down by many of Hollywood's leading actors before Khan accepted. Khan had a small role in The Dark Backward and co-starred with Bette Midler in The Expensive for the Boys, directed by Riddle, who called Khan one of the 4 or 5 best actors in America. Khan was a gangster in the comedy Honeymoon in Vegas and played Coach Winters in the program. He had a support role in Flesh and Bone and A Boy Called Hate, the latter starring his son Scott. In 1996, he appeared in North Star, a Western, Bottle Rocket, the directorial debut of Wes Anderson, Eraser, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bulletproof with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. In 1998, Khan portrayed Philip Marlowe in the HBO film Poodle Springs. He was also in This Is My Father. Khan was a gangster for comedy in Mickey Blue Eyes with Hugh Grant. He was in The Yards with Mark Wahlberg and director James Gray, Luckytown with Kirsten Dunst, and The Way of the Gun for Christopher McQuarrie. Khan starred in TV movies like Warden of Red Rock and A Glimpse of Hell, and was in some thrillers, Viva Las Nowhere, In the Shadows, and Night at the Golden Eagle. He was in Lathe of Heaven with Lucas Daniel Haas, City of Ghosts with Matt Dillon, Bloodcrime, The Incredible Mrs. Ritchie, and Jericho Mansions. Most of these films were not widely seen, but Dogville and Elf, in which Khan had key supporting roles, were big successes on the art house and commercial circuit respectively. In 2003, he portrayed Jimmy the Khan in the film This Thing of Ours, whose associate producer was Sonny Franzese, longtime mobster and underboss of the Colombo crime family. The same year, Khan played Will Ferrell's estranged book publisher father in the enormously successful family Christmas comedy Elf, and auditioned for, and won, the role of Montecito Hotel, Casino president, Big Ed, Delaney in Las Vegas. On February 27, 2007, Khan announced that he would not return to the show for its 5th season to return to film work. He was replaced by Tom Selleck. 2007–present. Later career Khan had a role in the TV movie Wisegull, played the President of the United States in the 2008 film Get Smart, and had a part in the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs as the voice of the father of the lead character, Flint. Khan was one of many stars in New York, I Love You, and had a support role in Middle Men. He did Mercy, starring and written by his son Scott. Khan could be seen in Henry's Crime, Detachment, Small Apartments, That's My Boy with Sandler, For the Love of Money and Blood Ties. In 2012, Khan was a guest star on the reimagined Hawaii Five-0 TV series, playing opposite his son, Scott Khan, who plays Danny Dano Williams. As of 2010, Khan is the chairman of an internet company, OpenFilm, intended to help up-and-coming filmmakers. In 2013, Khan portrayed Chicago mob kingpin Cy Berman in the Starz TV drama Magic City. The series was not renewed for a 3rd season, and Khan's character was apparently killed by The Butcher, Ben Diamond, his erstwhile protégé, portrayed by Danny Houston. He tried another regular series, the sitcom Back in the Game with Maggie Lawson, but it only lasted 13 episodes. Khan returned to film work with A Fighting Man and The Outsider. In 2014, Khan appeared in the dramatic comedy Preggoland, playing a father who is disappointed with his daughter's lack of ambition, but who becomes overjoyed when she announces that she is pregnant. The film premiered in the special presentation section at the 2014 Toronto International Film Festival. The film had its U.S. premiere on January 28, 2015 at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. Crackle premiered The Throwaways on January 30, 2015. Khan plays Lieutenant Call Christopher Holden, who leads a team fighting a cyber-terrorist. More recent films include The Wrong Boyfriend, Sicilian Vampire, J.L. Ranch and Good Enough. He had the lead in The Good Neighbor, The Red Maple Leaf and Undercover Grandpa. In 2019, he starred in Carol Morley's crime drama Out of Blue. Other work. Khan is a practicing martial artist. He has trained with Takayuki Kubota for nearly 30 years, earning various ranks. He is a master of Gosoku Ryu Karate and was granted the title of Soke Dai by the International Karate Association. Personal life. Khan has been married 4 times. In 1961, he married D.J. Mathis. They divorced in 1966. They had a daughter, Tara. Khan's second marriage to Sheila Marie Ryan in 1976 was short-lived, they divorced the following year. Their son, Scott Khan, who also is an actor, was born August 23, 1976. Scott Kahn's godfather is Colombo crime family boss Andrew Russo. James Khan and Andrew Russo have been friends since the early 1970s. Khan was married to Ingrid Hayek from September 1990 to March 1994. They had a son, Alexander James Khan, born 1991. He married Linda Stokes on October 7, 1995. They have 2 sons, James Arthur Khan and Jacob Nicholas Khan. They divorced in 2017, citing irreconcilable differences. Politics. Khan supported Donald Trump during the 2016 United States presidential election. Legal events. In 1994, he was arrested after being accused by a Los Angeles rap artist of pulling a gun on him. According to a Fortune magazine profile of Barry Minkow, during the production of the biopic based on the investor's life, Khan socialized with Minkow and was made aware by him that the financing of the film involved illegally obtained funds. However, nothing suggests Khan had any involvement with any illegalities.